Hello and welcome to the Neil deGrasse Tyson podcast, where we talk about things like space, how it's big, Star Wars. Did you know it's not real? Did you also know that there really isn't a dark side of the moon? Pink Floyd is wrong. Today, we're discussing Chewbacca. Did you know in space, there's no record of a big, large, furry man who only makes sounds? Did you know there's no planet that could destroy? There's no such thing as a Death Star. It's science.
That's right. Shut your fucking mouth, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm sick of that guy.
He got really mad at like Clickhole because he didn't know Clickhole was a joke.
Yeah.
And it was like, I forget what the headline was.
Yeah.
But it was like Neil deGrasse Tyson, yells at a little girl who says she wants to live on Mars, saying you can't. Or
Yeah,
right. And he like retweets. He's like, I've never said such a thing. By the way, you can't live on Mars.
Right. Yeah, he's got to get that in. Imagine being that guy's kid. You're like, Daddy, look, I drew you Jupiter. He's like,
This isn't Jupiter.
you fucking piece of shit. Why do we allow people like that to exist? You know?
Oh,
God,
hang your
it's
hat
really
on
annoying.
something.
People love that guy. That was our guest, Dan Perlman, by the way.
Hey, welcome.
From the,
Hi, everybody.
Dan Perlman from
Yeah, he'll think of
from
something.
all those credits, all those things. Yeah. Anyway, we like to get people while they're young and while they can do the show at an hour's notice. We like to get young, hungry.
Thank you for doing
We
the
like to
show.
get young, hungry people who will show up half an hour before.
Who
because,
dropped out?
Well, a bunch of people.
was
Everybody.
low-
It's so
low
hard
on
to
the
lock in a
list.
guest.
This
Yeah.
is-
Yeah. This show sucks because we like build the shows around our guests who we're like not paying, so people
Right.
cancel all the time and they
Of
just
course.
don't. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Dan Perlman's here to talk to us about one of the Godfathers. We're talking about Joe Bonanno today on the show. Boss. His name sounds like a fruit.
Yep, Joe
would-
Bananas.
He would be known to wear one of those Chiquita banana hats and dress in drag. He would take his shirt and twist it into a tie-dye shirt and flip it in and
Eluded the
stuff
feds
is,
for years.
yeah, he would. Yeah, because he was hiding as a
Chiquita
as Chiquita
banana.
banana. He would tuck his penis and balls back behind his legs and do salsa dancing. That's my idea for like a commercial parody. I want to do like an Ancestry.com thing. It's some guy like Stavros, and he's like, "Yeah, I found out a lot about myself, my ethnicity," and it's just him dressing. The end of the commercial is him dressing up as Chiquita Banana. Because that hat is so fucking underused, and it's not.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
You'd think that'd be like a staple.
You would
of
think it would be a
comedy.
staple,
Yes,
Dan,
yes.
of
You could write
comedy.
a go-to.
feature movie around just the hat.
Because
Yeah.
Perlman, I mean, back me up on this. Comedy's not fucking comedy anymore.
It's not.
It's woke points
Right.
from people who are a quarter black.
But you throw a banana hat on there.
Yeah.
Get rid
Yeah.
of those fucking points.
Right, you would think that
That's more fun.
You would think that all these classic things, the fucking the nose with the mustache,
Yes.
disguises, fat women, hiding under a fat woman's shirt
Oh, yeah.
or whatever. I don't
saw
know,
it-
stuff like
I
that.
saw it's, yeah.
The classic.
You would think that would be improved upon,
Right. You would hone
but
that.
it's just You're a little younger than me. Did you watch Barney as a kid? Because I feel like I
No.
watched Barney like longer than you're supposed to.
Really?
Yeah, like I watched. No, but I watched Barney in secret because if people found out, I would be like made fun of for it. I watched Barney up till I was like 6 years old, which is too old for
Right.
you don't remember being a kid, but that's like too old to watch Barney.
Yeah. What is it? Probably like 3.
3
It's
is
probably
like
a 1 week span. It's okay to watch Barney.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but once you're 5 and in kindergarten, if people find out you watch Barney,
What were they watching?
That's it.
Sesame Street?
they were watching probably like Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Because I remember like 12 is when I stopped watching Nickelodeon. I just had no interest in
Right.
watching it. I was like, I'm
Purple
gonna watch Nick DiPaolo be racist on Tough Crowd.
Tough Crowd, yeah.
Yeah. That's when I got into Daily Show and stuff like that. So anyway, we're talking about Joe Bonanno. Let's go back to the beginning. In Sicily, that's where he was born. His father, Salvatore, was a wealthy mafia leader, considered a man of respect to the poor people of the town of Castellamare.
Sounds
And
beautiful.
those were the codes he lived by: loyalty, honor, loyalty, and respect. I didn't tell this story last episode, but I remember like I'll never forget this because we were talking about toxic masculinity. And I was in a Just Salad one time, and there's this like Spanish guy ordering salad like in front of me, and he's like tall and he's covered in tattoos and he's got sunglasses on, and he must have been in like a gang or something because he's got loyalty, honor, respect on his arms, and he just like the way he ordered the salad, he just like didn't crack a smile. He's just like, yeah, give me that raspberry vinaigrette. Yeah, give me that yeah, tomato, yeah, pecans. And even like he left, and like the Just Salad employees were like making fun of him because he was just like so hardcore.
That's such a funny trait. That's probably how you know someone's like work is some fucked up shit if
Yeah.
they need to have tattoos that are like positive traits
Yeah.
on them. You know,
Yeah.
like good friend.
Right.
Something funny about a tough guy ordering a salad. You know, at a salad place. Why was he in? What's he in there for?
That was kind of implied with the story that I told.
Right.
Anyway, sorry, Shelby's here. Shelby, it's kind of Matt's girlfriend is here, sitting in, I guess, on the show. Can you leave?
Living room.
Don't give her the microphone.
I thought about that.
Yeah, okay. I guess it's technically her living room. Not like we're running a business in here or anything. Anyway, but yeah, that's kind of our thing, you know. I bully Matt to make him stronger. Anyway. So Bonanno's father goes to fight in World War I when he's a kid. World War I. I saw this chart online recently. It was like they broke down all the fighters in every war.
Yeah.
And they were like top tier. It was like British and something else I forget. And then like second tier like Germany and all these other Germany, United States. And then like it was like bad tier, and then it was like Italians. Like Italians are even below the worst kinds of soldiers, and they were just like, yeah, they're cowards. They have no technology, and they can't fight. And it's true. I guess we've lost every war since the Roman Empire.
Yeah, you guys are, I mean, Italians don't like to follow orders. So they were probably just going off of like the ones that didn't make it into the mob.
We did kind of like rest on our laurels for a good 3,000 years after the Roman Empire fell. We're still kind of holding on to that.
Yeah, I mean, not many
We
people have
peaked
had,
early.
Yeah, not many people have
We're
had
like
a
the
full
Brandon
empire.
Wardell of empires, you know? Sort of resting on our... Yeah, but... So he goes to fight in World War I, gets wounded. His dying words to his son are, never forget, your name is Bonanno. Be proud of your name. Yes, it does sound like a fruit that's shaped like a penis. But it is... it's who you are. So then his uncles start fighting over his inheritance, and he gets kind of disgusted, and he leaves Castellamare at the age of 15. Now, when he's a teenager, this is when Mussolini starts to crack down on the mob, because Mussolini is like gaining control in the north, and Sicily was sort of like an offshoot of mainland Italy at the time. All right, so from 1925 to 1929, Mussolini starts cracking down on the Italian mob.
Mm-hmm.
And there was always this sort of like debate, because there was always a divide between northern and southern Italy. There still is. And
Wait, which ones are the poorer or the
southern Italy.
It's okay.
It's darker people. Everyone in northern Italy is blonde and
Oh,
shit like
okay. I see. This is where that true romance stuff comes in.
yeah. So actually, there was a notion that Sicily belonged more to Africa than Europe. And with the popularity of eugenics and social Darwinism, that idea gave the North justification to assert their dominance. So Mussolini decides he's going to go after the mafia. He's got some political opponents down in Sicily, and he takes advantage of this divide and incorporates it into the fascist ideology. And actually, there was an incident where the boss of Piana dei Greci, this guy named Ciccio Cuccia.
Ciccio Cucci.
Hey, come here, I'm gonna Ciccio Cuccia. It's like when you're trying to, it's like a little boy. Mama, I did not Ciccio Cuccia. Did you Ciccio the girls a Cuccia? Anyway, Ciccio Cuccio tells Mussolini that there's no need for a police presence in Sicily since Il Duce was under the boss's protection. So he's like, hey, Benito, don't worry about the cops. You're safe because it's my territory. Mussolini was so insulted by this, he jails Cuccia, and
Jail in the
who
coochie.
later dies in prison. There, I got a little move called jail in the coochie. It does sound like a sex move. Over the next 3 years, Mussolini pursued a highly effective crackdown on the mafia, an operation conducted by Police Chief Cesare Mori. Mori's ruthless methods proved highly effective, and that was all that Mussolini wanted. The most significant crackdown was the Siege of Ganji in 1926. Ganji was a province in Palermo and had a history of being a hotbed for criminals and the mafia. And Mori needed a dramatic victory to establish his authority and that of the government. So during the operation, which begins on New Year's Day, police devastate the mafiosi. They slaughter their cattle. They seize their women and children as hostages, and they
Seize your women and children. Those aren't assets.
come here. We're gonna take your children. Don't worry about it.
Come here, a coochie.
Yeah, and they sleep in their beds.
Ugh,
Imagine a cop sleeping in your bed,
the worst.
wearing your clothes,
Taking
putting
your
on your
wife.
Jets hoodie. Yeah. So on the Siege of Ganji, they arrest over 430 people, most of who were family and friends of the actual criminals. And as a result of this repression, many mafiosi, including Carlo Gambino and Joe Bonanno, fled to New York City, eventually starting their own mafia families.
And that's where his origin came.
Yeah. I wrote a sketch a few years ago. It was like Scrabble for your grandparents, and there's a limited amount of letter tiles, so they can't make slurs. So there's only one G, no ends.
That's funny.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of good it did me. It was to work for Trevor Noah. This is funny, and I want to just say that Trump is bad.
It's a good Trevor Noah.
It's a pretty good Trevor Noah.
Character choice.
Dan, we were talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson before this. You don't like him either, right?
I just think he should stick to the moon. He's
Yeah.
a moon
Yeah.
guy. So just stick to that.
Right.
I just don't like when he goes off and he's like, this is how you love a woman. And it's like, what are you what are you saying?
Yeah.
What? Just show me where Mars is.
Did you know that eating pussy is kind of similar to the Milky Way?
I just don't, it's just like irrelevant. It's just because you're an authority on one thing,
Right.
doesn't mean you can give TED Talks on every issue.
Right.
This is the Neil deGrasse Tyson Sex Podcast. Sexcast. The other night, I left a Milky Way on my wife's back.
Come. That didn't get what he deserved. Anyway.
I was
I
like,
thought he shit on her.
What?
I thought you were saying like a candy bar, like a Caddyshack style.
no, he would break down the velocity at which you could shit on her, though, like while the Earth is in orbit.
Hey, I don't want to be a rat here, but doesn't my man have some sexual assault allegations against him?
He's got one that hasn't really come up at all, though. But
Yeah.
it's on some master list.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Do
like,
they
how
have
about
that?
this? If you keep quiet, I will give you 10,000 space dollars.
He paid her off in like fake money.
Did you know there are more grains of sand on all the beaches in the world than stars in the galaxy?
Wow!
Or
Wow,
rape
really?
accusations against me?
There's more. Dan's a great guest. There's more.
There's actually more.
There's more there's more rape accusations than grains of sand against Neil deGrasse Tyson.
There's actually more miles. Did you know the distance light travels in 1 year is the amount of miles of women I forced myself upon when I was in grad school? Because I can't keep it in my pants? I'm sorry, I'm just a coos hound. I love pussy.
All right, let's get back to this mafia shit that nobody fucking cares about. That nobody fucking cares about.
No, I don't know. You said he had a banana hat.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, the Chiquita banana.
Chiquita Banana Hat. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's how he got his nickname. In December 1924, he sneaks his way on a boat, some kind of, I don't know, like a pasta boat. I forget what.
Fishing boat.
A fishing boat, and he arrives in America, and He sees people getting rich off of bootlegging. Prohibition was going on at this time. This is a guy who he really lived through every era of the American mafia. He lived through like Al Capone's era. He knew Al Capone. He worked with Lucky Luciano, but then he also in the 80s with those 70s and 80s with those crackdowns and stuff like that. He was a part of that too.
He really meshed well with every group.
Yeah.
That's rare.
Right.
I would think.
Yeah, he had longevity.
Yeah.
He's I'm trying to think of a comic who he would be. Who's someone who's just around forever, had a good career. I guess John Panette if he didn't eat himself to death.
Right.
What a funny way.
Anyway, that guy, that's one of those guys where it's obviously cool comics will shit on him.
Sure.
But that guy killed so hard.
Yeah, that guy was super funny.
Yeah.
He was a funny character actor too. Every show he popped up in.
Yeah.
He was always funny.
Yeah. He just, contributed to obesity with the with a very bad message.
I mean, it's a very small amount. The number of pounds John Panette weighs is less than the number of
right.
pieces of hay in all the barns.
This is going to be a great recurring bit.
Neil deGrasse.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Did you know there's more? There's actually more pounds of. There's actually more rolls in John Panette's chin. Less rolls than rape accusations against Neil deGrasse Tyson. What should we title this episode? Neil DeGrabass Tyson.
Ooh, that's good.
Man, if only at midnight we're still on.
happy
Just a year away. I'd be straight to at midnight.
Matt, don't you have the fucking balls to tell your girlfriend to leave the living room when it's bro time?
You said she was great.
When it's bro time?
Why are you gonna be so passive aggressive at her?
That's just straight aggressive. There's no
Yeah,
passive
that's
aggressive.
true.
There's nothing passive about that.
Yeah, why are you gonna be so aggressive?
Passive aggressive is it's kind of crowded in here.
All right, just don't react. If I say something horrible, don't react negatively.
Yeah, because my cast
Don't react negatively to anything I say, please. Okay. So he's mentored by Maranzano. He's put in charge of bootlegging. There was another local don who tried to muscle his way in, and Joe humiliated the guy by sticking a gun right in his mouth, baby.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What does a mafia mentorship look like?
I think it's basically just an older guy takes a younger guy under his wing, and he's
Sure.
these are the rackets, these are the different ways we make money, this is how you count it, this is how, it's all the day-to-day operational.
A lot of logistical stuff.
Yeah, because it's really you do have to give these guys credit for being able to keep track of all that money.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hierarchy.
Organized crime.
And how do you, right, it's very organized.
Yes, it's being a CEO, yeah.
Right.
It's like Zuckerberg.
All right,
just
listen,
walking around.
I'm going to go to Staples. I got to get some labels.
He's got a to-do list.
Yeah. I keep it all here in this trapper keeper. It's got a penguin on it playing basketball.
Today's inventory day.
You know what I had in first grade? I don't know why. I had a fucking Lisa Frank folder that I asked my mom.
What?
Yeah. And it was a fucking, because I guess this girl had it and it had animals on it. I thought it was kind of cool. And it was a fucking dog and a cat getting married. I carried it to school. Anyway, yeah. So, but I'm not like that anymore. I'm a total tough guy.
Yeah. Just Lisa
Anyway.
Frank and Barney.
Yeah.
Rare combination.
Yeah. What else do I like that I'm ashamed of? I don't know. Do you have any of that?
No, I'm ashamed that I like you. That we work together.
Okay. Well, if it wasn't for me, Matt.
No, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of myself on a whole. It's a very Shelby. You're not supposed to react.
Listen,
I used to watch Dawson's Creek in hiding.
you did,
I really liked that show. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw every episode of that. I was ashamed of that.
which is probably a good show. If it was
It
on
was one of
TV
the-
and it was on for that long.
Yeah, it's just one of those
Did you cry?
teen girl shows.
Yeah.
No, I didn't cry, but I had a rooting interest. And,
Yeah, put on
You
lipstick.
shipped for one couple.
yeah,
Definitely.
exactly.
I did that with One Tree Hill.
One Tree Hill, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same program.
It's the same, the WB type.
Yeah.
Yeah, those old shows, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, everybody, check out Matt's pinball podcast that he does without me. If you want to hear about how the fucking Wizard of Oz pinball machine lights up and how he thinks about that, check it out on
Sweet, smooth sounds.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's mentored by Maranzano, but Lucky Luciano kills. So Lucky Luciano and Bonanno are sort of contemporaries. They're both young guys who are ambitious, and Lucky Luciano has Maranzano killed. So Bonanno decides to reach out to Luciano. He's like, "Listen, I don't have any problem with you." And these young guys end up forming the commission with some other bosses. The commission ends up being the Lucchese family, the Genovese family, the Gambino family, the Colombo family, which started off as the Profaci family, and the Bonanno family, Joe Bonanno's family. So, and then the Colombo family was originally the Profaci family. Oh, and then Lucky Luciano's family ends up being the Genovese family for some reason, because Vito Genovese took over.
Yeah,
after Frank Costello. Hell yeah. So,
and then there was also the Buffalo outfit had a vote, and same with the Chicago outfit. So there were 7 controlling interests part of this like board.
So I guess that was the first time that like the mob was sort of organized, and now it's like if you want to whack somebody, you need the approval of the commission. It's like all very so it's like more powerful factions kind of coming together, and
They eventually come up with the system where anybody that wants to make a new member has to float all the names to the different families, so that way they couldn't hire these contract killers to like
everyone had to approve.
Right, exactly.
I mean, say what you want about Italians that were just, retarded, illiterate, pasta jockeys who want to fuck our mothers.
Yeah.
You can say all that stuff.
We should.
Yeah, we're noodle retards.
You just end the podcast right there.
Yeah.
That's the new theme
song. I guess that was the end.
Yeah.
Did you want to plug anything?
I'm trying to think of like a parody to "Ain't That a Kick in the Head." It's like put your dick in my head. Yeah, but I don't know what the first line is. The first and second line is.
Oh, the song. You can't remember it.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Do that later. We'll figure it. We're smart guys.
They're just talking about a dumb Italian song.
Say what you want.
A lot of hypocrisy.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of murderous, uneducated, racist scumbags who vote for fascists consistently because we're too dumb to think for ourselves and we want to be ruled. But I mean, it is a good system that was in place. If you're a lower level guy, it's like, you might go to jail for a little bit, but your family will be taken care of as long as you don't rat on anybody. And it's like,
and as much ambition as you had, you could climb to the ladder if you wanted. If you had the
upward mobility.
Yes.
There's some structure there. In comedy, it's like chaos.
It's complete chaos.
Yeah. Complete chaos. It's anarchy.
And don't you wish you had a little backing of like somebody
of a family
of a crime family? You could be like the Sinatra.
Not just like surrounded by sociopaths, but you're in a family of sociopaths, all helping each other.
But it's necessary.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. It would be nice.
Especially for us straight white men. Because it's hard now. Nobody wants it. Yeah, if we had the backing of something. I mean, I remember like doing Conan, it's such a fucking terrible, shitty, long process to finally get on the goddamn show. It took me 3 years from the time that I started talking to the booker to actually doing it. Multiple times I thought, well, this is never going to happen.
Right.
And I would just, write slurs on Facebook and stuff because I was so frustrated. But countless times I was just thinking like, what if I just had a little push, What if somebody could just call JP Buck and be like, "Hey, what are we doing with Racine's, thing?" And then we like steal his dog or something,
But that was like the old school. Like that's what when you hear about comedy in like the 50s, and 60s, like it was that kind of stuff. Like these comics, they just like they put a gun to like the strip club owners' heads, like these mob guys would, and they'd be like, "All right, we'll give Leno a shot." It was like that kind of shit.
Oh, is that true?
Wasn't
I remember him.
So, what are you telling us gonna help me out with
I remember him telling some story about like some mobster he was hanging with.
Yeah.
But even before that, like all those guys.
Yeah.
Like the Lenny Bruce era.
Rickles was mobbed up, you know?
He must. He
Yeah,
must
because he
have
hung
been,
out
right?
with Sinatra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would go and do those clubs and call everybody names and shit.
Yeah,
and they're like,
and
we
they
love
loved
it. This is great. But meanwhile, they could all murder him.
Yeah,
Right.
they're just like
I did say
just
the
like
Booker
kicking
of,
a Jewish kid in the parking lot. Just like Rickles.
I did say the Booker of Conan's name on the show. That's fine, right?
I mean, I've got to edit it.
I did notice that.
Whatever. Who cares?
I always
Why
wonder
don't you return my emails or I'll steal your dog.
what. What if they tried to call you, Mike?
What?
But
Yeah.
your mailbox on your phone has been full for like the last 7 years.
Yeah, I know. I like to keep a full voicemail box. I don't want my.
He's so hard to
I
work
don't want
with.
my
He's,
dad.
like,
I don't want my
getting
dad
in
leaving
contact.
long messages.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
It's not
So I
like
just
they all
keep it
have
full.
hold some value. You just want to block it so no one else can get in there.
Yeah. One time my manager called me. He was like, I noticed your voicemail box is full, which sometimes correlates with poor mental health, I've noticed with people. And I'm like, shut the fuck. Text me like an adult.
You need a family burner phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sicilian-
Mike's the worst to work with.
Sicilian gang.
Oh,
existed.
you guys have a great
just
thing
gotta-
going.
Call
How
him
am I
all
the
ti-
worst? Wait a minute. Do you mean
Well,
that?
no,
How am
I
the
don't
worst to
mean
work
that.
with?
No, you
in
guys-
the context of playing
Yes,
up the
pre-show, I'm hard to get a hold of. I give you an hour's notice to record. But I'm the fucking talent.
Yeah, no, you come in and you throw fastballs.
No one else on the show is going to.
Sometimes
No other.
I don't know they're coming at my face.
No other.
It's only the
listen,
two of you. It's so funny. Like no one else on this show is doing what I do. It's like yeah,
Well,
it's
no
the two of you.
other show is giving out the Booker of Conan's email on the show. Okay. Now let me just pull it up right here. It's at .com. All right, you're welcome. So if you're a comic out there, you want to get on Conan,
It's hustle, baby.
shoot him an email. You know, I like to help out the people below me, but you have to do something for me. If you get on the show, you owe me 10%.
We should start a commission.
$700.
We should start the family.
I would love to.
Yeah, the crime. You
What's
want your own
stopping
crime
you?
family?
Yeah,
What role would you want? You would want to be the leader?
probably a capo.
Yeah.
And then somebody else could be boss. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I'm trying to think who do we know that would make a good boss?
It'd have to be somebody like untouchable.
Yeah. Right.
What role would you have?
I'd probably be like an associate, with a pretty good racket. You know,
Like a
good skill set, like
Yeah.
not accepted
He'd be
because
like
I'm not Italian.
when you go to war, he would put on a wig and lipstick, and we take turns fucking his mouth.
You know, everybody needs a job.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you go to war, like that famous position.
Right.
You know, there's the general, there's the lieutenant, and then there's the guy in lipstick whose mouth you fucked.
No wonder Italians are
Iggy.
fourth on the list because they're like, yeah.
Because they're like, yeah, I mean, that's the same as like a colonel.
It's Iggy Pop from that movie Dead Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in a dress. Who do you think Dan would be?
That's a great question.
I don't know. You probably be like a soldier.
Yeah.
You know, you definitely work your way up to underboss.
He'd be like a white collar criminal or something.
yeah.
Yeah, he would like call the elderly and get them to sign up for reverse mortgages. He'd send out in the mail like, you call to claim your gift card, and they're like, we just need your social security number.
Email phishing scams.
I did
Yeah.
this show like a month ago at a nursing home,
Yeah,
and
was it fun?
it was fun. Yeah, I was supposed to do a half hour after a Medicaid presentation, and so I go up. It's like at 1:30, you know,
Yeah.
and
So a late show.
yeah, late show, and it's like all old black women because it's in Jamaica.
You did
Queens.
great.
And
Yeah.
I'm like 15 minutes in, and this table woman, she's like, someone was like, "Why aren't you cursing?" And I was like, "Oh," she pointed to the lady who's running the Medicaid. They're like, "Oh, she told me not to curse," and she was like, "That white bitch don't know curse." I was like, "Yeah, fuck her, right?" And they were like, "Yeah," and the one was like,
You just go nuts. You're like, yeah, fuck that stupid cunt. I bet her pussy smells like garbage. Like,
Way too
wow.
far.
Yeah.
and then it's two, and there's TV on. I'm just checking and seeing like, oh, I'm almost done. Oh, it's like 2:00, and then one of the woman's like, "Oh, Steve Harvey's on," and I'm like, "Well, I'm done. Let's turn on Steve Harvey."
That was the rest of your set, just them watching Steve Harvey.
Your closer.
I'm just like emceeing Steve Harvey on TV.
He's another guy where it's like I've been watching clips of him, and he's so fucking good.
So good.
Yeah, he's always been funny.
He makes me want to have a game show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
His timing and delivery is like perfect.
Totally. No, his reactions.
Yeah.
Everything. You watch even him in like the 80s.
Because he's like a retard, but he found a way to. It's like I'm jealous of. Yeah. He's got this bit about going to Afghanistan. He's like, you send me over there, I'm shooting everybody. and Mullins talked about this on Cumtown before, but like I feel like this is a more accurate like representation of that. Because he's like, as soon as I get off that plane, I'm like, cow, 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 cow. Don't come up to me talking about I'm an Iranian soldier. He's like, I'll shoot babies.
I love when he gets a shitty answer, on
Family Feud.
On
Yes,
Family
yes,
Feud,
yes.
and he just like looks at the camera. That's like the stuff that makes me laugh the hardest. You can look up top 10 Family Feud with Steve Harvey, and it's so fucking funny.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
A few years ago, I taped a set for Che because he needed a tape, and he did this bit about the stupid black family on Family Feud, and I like listened back to the tape and I laughed way too hard when he said I like cackled
Before he even got into the bit.
Yeah, he was like, I just love seeing the stupid black family, and I'm like, ah!
Like drowns out the rest of it.
Yeah. That was just the setup. No, it's just the way you said. Anyway,
Dan, before we move on, what's the Booker's email for that Jamaica Queen show?
Oh, I can give that out.
This is the Booker's email. This is the Booker's email episode.
I'll definitely give that out.
Now, so he becomes a boss. Joe Bonanno becomes a boss at the age of 26. He's actually still driving a truck part-time when he becomes boss. And so he starts getting involved in various rackets. He gets involved in legitimate business.
This is during Prohibition, right?
This is probably
It's
around
like 1926.
Yeah. But then he has a son named Salvatore and a daughter named Catherine and a son named Bill. And Bill gets an ear infection and he moves to Arizona. Bill gets into crime. He starts stealing hubcaps and running guns to Mexico. The relationship between mob boss, and I think we've talked about this before, but mob boss and son is always very interesting.
Yeah.
Because the son is always
you gotta live in that
just kind of
shadow.
like, you live in the shadow, and it's just there's kind of like there's nothing really tough about Bill Bonanno.
No, but that's usual. Anybody whose dad is super successful and had to work his way up, usually the kid is just kind of a fuck up.
Yeah.
Because there's never any pressure to be good at anything.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So here's a clip of Bill Bonanno talking about his father. Now, this is like kind of interesting because a lot of these guys do have these principles, but they don't adhere to them whatsoever.
Right.
A lot of these guys are just complete hypocrites. So here's Bill Bonanno.
That just aren't. That just don't happen. And one is women, living off of women, meaning prostitution, where a woman supports you.
Right.
But also, well, we'll get into that in a minute.
Two is dealing in narcotics. And the third is hurting anybody for money.
That's right.
With Salvatore.
Now, basically, as we've talked about before, the Bonanno family was the only family that got involved in drug trafficking. They were heavily involved in heroin and cocaine and all
And
that
trafficking women. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but the thing he said about prostitution is interesting because he's like, you can't live off a woman.
Right.
Have you ever had like a girlfriend support you or?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't feel very good.
No, it doesn't.
I've dated women who've made more money than me,
Yeah.
but not supported me,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Did they take you out to like lavish dinners, or was it just
No.
kind of like regular?
No, they just had more to spend.
Okay.
You know, like,
Yeah.
we would have done nicer stuff if they were aware of the ceiling of what I could provide.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just picturing you going out to like fancy dinners, and
Yeah, nobody's treating me like, like living like a king.
Yeah,
And I'm a total like feminist and everything. I don't know. That felt kind of gross to say, actually. But
You were like rolling your eyes as you were saying it.
no, but like
You slowed down the word, and you're like, oh.
You like couldn't digest your own
I know,
self
but-
saying it.
I understand, but this is the kind of thing where it's like even a lot of the most like hardcore feminists won't want to have a guy that they support. But having a woman
Right.
that you support is like the dream. If you could make enough money that your wife doesn't have to work,
yeah, that would
I
be
think
nice.
that's awesome.
Would you want that, or would you kind of maybe resent that on some level?
I think I would if I made enough money. Yeah,
It would have to be a lot.
I feel like I would resent it if they just sat on the couch like a couch potato. But if they were like following their dreams or something, that's great.
Right.
You know, or if they're like working towards something.
yeah.
I guess if they're following their dreams and they're good at it, but if they're following their stupid dreams,
Yeah.
and they're bad at it,
Good call.
it's like I don't know if you want to subsidize.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like kids also. If like the kid is like talented at something, it's like, yeah, I want you to keep doing that. But if they're like horrible at it, it's like,
Right.
yeah, I'm not gonna like pay for you to
Yeah.
continue to be bad at a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm kind of like struggling financially right now, and Deb is picking up slack like here and there, and it feels like so shitty to be not making money.
Right.
It just I feel like a fucking like I want to go rob a bank or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, and
Yeah.
and I just feel like as much as you can challenge like these ideas of patriarchy and all that stuff, it's like I think there's something innate if you're a guy that makes you want to provide.
Doesn't feel good.
It does not feel good.
When I was unemployed, Shelby really took a brunt of like a lot of our going out and eating and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like not good. I mean, she never
And then
paid for my rent.
how do you fuck somebody like who doesn't have money, who doesn't make his own money?
It's a great question.
Yeah, I don't think that's a long-term thing.
Right.
I think
You got a set amount of time to pull out of that.
you can.
I think
ride
guys
that.
innately want to be providers, and that's just like human nature, and you can't fight that. That's one thing you can't fight. You can fight all the other stuff, like they got to be CEOs, I guess. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I also feel like men are becoming obsolete a little bit.
well, just as an entire concept, or
Yeah.
just the old-fashioned sort of.
Well, yeah, but then now what are we?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? Because it used to be we like built stuff and killed people, you know.
Right.
Right.
All those things that we're good at.
And fuck. Now there's fuck
Destroyed
robots.
stuff. Now there's
and they can
sex
steal
robots.
Your cum and
Yeah.
have babies without you.
I guess men
Yeah.
have more been replaced by robots than women.
Right.
Because like drones, they do the work of soldiers.
Of soldiers, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It used to be you need soldiers to kill a bunch of people at a Pakistani wedding. and now we got our drones. So we do it for them. Because I like to kill. I'm very good at killing people. I'm Barack Obama, and I killed. People love that guy, huh?
What the fuck?
You
Well,
like
no,
'em.
it's just I do like him. I
Yes,
do
you
like him
do.
as a guy, but
Man, we had it so
know.
good and we didn't know it at all.
no, but you know what I mean.
No, I know. Yeah. This is funny
People
too.
act like
Good
he's
act
some
out.
fucking deity or something. And,
Well, it's all everyone looks better. Everyone gets glorified once they're removed.
right,
You know,
right.
like people like Bush is like dancing with Ellen now.
Yeah,
It's like crazy.
yeah, right.
Like
Yeah,
murdered a million Iraqis.
Iraqis.
They're just like
Fake
Ellen's
war.
like, "Can you paint me?" And he's like, "Sure." It's like retarded.
Weapons of mass destruction that weren't there.
They like hated that guy.
Yeah.
It's just like now he's just like a silly dude.
Yeah. Did you see him hug
for
Michelle Obama?
Yeah, they're making like fun gifs of him.
Yeah.
I'm just like shrugging his shoulders. It's like a war criminal.
man.
I don't think Dick Cheney's still. Everybody kind of saw what he did, though, right? Dick
No,
Cheney's
but
still.
Yeah.
he more.
But he's going to be on Celebrity Lip Sync pretty soon with LL Cool J, and Christine Teigen.
He's taking over a
He's
cash
gonna-
cab.
Yeah. What is the? What is it? Which of these is not an amphibian? What is the name of Cardi B's hit single?
Just
a pretty good
What
dictionary.
a mixed reaction you would have if you get in a cab and you find out it's the cash cab, but that's Dick Cheney driving it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is whoa. Man, a swing of emotions that would be.
Hello, how many rapes?
Was I?
I guess I'll play.
But so that was like, so I think the Bonannos, they did, well, Lucky Luciano ran prostitution, but the Bonannos were against that, right?
Yes.
So, okay, so, but I never thought of prostitution in those kind of terms where it's like, yeah, you are exploiting a woman's labor.
Yes.
Like, she's the one who has to, like, you know, take the finger up her butt, take the fucking ugly dick, get peed on, get shitted on, dress up like the guy's mother and stomp on his balls. All the stuff that you pay a prostitute for.
Your regular
She's the
stuff.
one doing all the work, and then what is the pimp really doing? So I think that's why, like, remember in Godfather where he's like, Natalia's a pimp, and it was like a derogatory type of thing.
Right.
I don't know. I never really made that connection where like it is kind of a dishonorable profession to be a pimp, because it's like, what are you doing? You're just benefiting from the patriarchy where you just provide the muscle, because these girls could be making money on their own.
Yeah. Well, they're just.
I do want to be a pimp though.
You're providing protection from you.
Yeah,
You could go work
right.
for yourself, but you're like, no. You signed a non-compete.
Well, it's just like being a manager or something. Or an agent. It's just you're like an unnecessary go-between that's being presented as.
But I think the
necessary.
pimp takes most of the money.
Well, right. Yeah.
Does he?
I don't know. I think a good amount.
Yeah. At least half. Probably half.
So that means
More than half?
I don't know. More than 10. A good amount.
I bet there's prostitutes in like Eastern Europe who are like, I wish I was prostitute in America. I have sex for $9. I have sex for a sandwich to feed my child. Yeah, but I don't know. It's kind of an interesting because there's a whole psychology behind it, right? To get a woman to go out and sell her pussy, that's probably hard.
Did you see the end of the? Yeah, it sounds hard. Sounds really hard.
I wouldn't even try.
Did you see the end
like
of
an uphill battle.
Did you see the end of the Chappelle special?
Yes.
Where
Yeah.
he talks about like how many fucks a woman's worth.
Yeah, I started reading that book,
Yeah,
Iceberg Slim's book. Yeah, maybe we'll read that and talk about it.
yeah. Let's do that.
We should get Dante
Revisit
Nero on
hints.
to talk about. Yeah. Anyway, you ever see a movie called Willie Dynamite?
No.
It's with Gordon from Sesame Street. And
Okay.
he plays a pimp. I'll show you some clips after.
Really?
It's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's
Man,
like
what
one of those-
range he had.
Yeah, right.
Just like, if you really wanted to branch out. Really, nobody wants to be typecast.
Yeah. So here's so the funny thing about Joe Bonanno is he is completely like full of shit. He's a hypocrite.
Yeah.
He doesn't practice what he preaches, but there is
I was gonna say like a lot of times these guys can't be like OG gangster until they die. If they die at 97 years old, you know what I mean. So I don't think he became super hypocritical until they kind of.
you're wearing a backwards hat and you're saying OG gangsters. Who are you hanging out with?
OG
like your-
fucking gangsters.
I'm like your dad. I'm like, I want to meet these friends of yours.
You straighten them out.
Yeah.
It's like tell that kid to put on his pants. Or
You
wait,
tell your friends
put on
to-
a belt. Not
Yeah.
pants.
You tell your friends to pull their goddamn pants up. You understand me?
That's the number one issue Italians have with black people.
It's just dangling pants.
Yes. Yeah,
It's
pretty
like
much.
a belt.
They don't
fact-
wear a belt.
My mom almost has a superpower where you can bring up any political issue and it will come back to how blacks need to pull up their pants. It's almost like a freak skill that she has. Like, Mom, what do you think about Syria? And like 4 minutes later, and pull your stinking pants up.
That was Cosby's big thing, too.
Yeah.
Italians and Cosby.
Right.
The most
And that's where it ends.
by just oversized Levi's.
Yeah.
Does Cosby have any kids?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got a few of them.
Well, his daughter just died,
one of
and
them
then his
just
son
died,
was
yeah.
murdered in the 90s.
Yeah.
What? So he
Yeah.
doesn't have any more kids now.
No, he has, I think, 3 more.
Yeah,
However many he
really
had on the Cosby
I
Show.
mean, he really just
No, this was like
Oh,
his
I
life.
thought you were-
no,
okay,
it was
okay,
real.
okay.
Yeah.
He raped those women to deal with the pain of his dead son.
I mean, I guess he raped like 100 in preparation for the pain he might have if his son died someday. Yeah. So like 30 years before.
Jeez. Yeah. He's like, well, I should practice just in case I deal with some grief. So I'm going to.
I love how me and Dan have not gone for any act outs yet, and you're
Yeah.
just nailing it.
That's all right.
He's good with the voice, yeah.
No, I'm loving it.
I'm okay.
that
I
wasn't
don't know
meant to
why.
be-
I don't know why I don't do more voices and impressions because I'm pretty. I'm okay at them.
Yeah,
You know.
I think so.
But
Chaplin had a good theory about impressions. He was saying that if you're good at impressions, there's a good chance you're gay because you've been trying out so many. You're trying to figure out your identity from a young age. So you're just trying out different personas and stuff.
Yeah.
And then once you discover your own sexuality, then you know
have
that,
that
and you can
toolkit.
also do like a Christopher Walken or whatever. It's Scott Chaplin's theory. I think it's very accurate.
well, who are the good impressionists? Caliendo.
Yeah.
Caliendo's not gay.
Might be.
Ari Spears. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. Ari, because he's very homophobic.
Right. Dana Carvey.
Yeah. Dana Carvey's straight as a fucking arrow.
Is he?
Yeah. Who are the other good impressionists that you know? Bob DeBono.
I can't think of one. I keep coming back to just like the puppet guy, and those aren't impressions.
There was
Bob DeBono does an amazing Alexandro and Rich Voss. That's the other thing when you're good at Fuck
Yes, I've
Chaplin
heard
for
that.
saying that.
He's
Chaplin's
straight
gay.
as hell.
Yeah.
Chaplin's the gay one.
Hey, you know, I think if your dad's a dead cop, you're gay.
There might be something in that theory.
If your sister used to be a stripper, you might be gay.
rebranded Foxworthy. just calling everybody gay.
And it's all things about Chaplin. Yeah, it's all his personality traits. Yeah.
Super condensed. There was this guy I saw. I did some show at bar.
Yeah.
Or somewhere. And this
Why
guy
not? Why
was-
don't you say with the bar?
I don't know. Maybe we'll figure out. Whatever.
Yeah.
This guy was doing an impression. He was doing a Robert De Niro impression, and he fell off the back of the stage in the middle of it. He was just like, "You talking? Whoa!" He falls
And now,
back.
and now that guy's doing a Christopher Reeve impression for life.
It was a funny to see because then also with impressions you just have to like keep going. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't know how to like just talk normally and like acknowledge it.
Oh, I fell there, folks.
So he just had to be like, "Oh, and I love Obama." And
Yeah.
he just goes into his Obama.
Oh my
Yeah.
It's like you didn't just fall.
Funniest.
Well, the funny thing about impressions is you have to go somewhere with it. Like doing the voice just isn't
Right.
enough. You have to put that character in like a funny scenario or
Yes,
something.
yes.
Because I could do a
Or have a
okay
bit
Pesci or
prepared.
like yeah.
But it's always got to be, and it's just funny because it's always got to be this. Like stand up is like contrived enough, but to
Yeah.
have to do something where it's like, oh man, imagine I was at a family picnic and Ray Romano was there. Whoa, pass
right,
it.
right.
It's just like it's like crazy. It's like, what are you talking about?
Dude, there was a guy that I did
That
open
would work
mics.
30 years ago.
There was a guy that I did open mics with like 10 years ago, and
Yeah.
he would do these impressions, and he would just create these scenarios that would like never happen. He's like, "No, guys, I was thinking." He was this like younger black kid, and he was like, guys, I was thinking, what if Samuel L. Jackson and Yoda went to Ruby Tuesday together?" He's like, well, I want the motherfucking salad bar. He's like, I also want the salad bar. It's like, yeah, I guess.
I feel like that would crush it, Mike's.
Yeah, maybe. But nobody does that shit anymore.
No.
Now it's all, fucking, oh, I'm a woman and I'm sad. Well, let me complain about having a cunt because, it's hard. I don't know if you know that. It's hard to be a woman. Anyway.
The craziest thing I ever saw at like with some guy I just saw him. I never saw him before or after.
Yeah.
And he got on stage. He was at the pit, and he's like at a mic, and he's like, "Man, I wish I had a retarded sister, so I could rape her."
Jesus.
And everyone just like nobody laughed. And he's
Well,
like,
I mean, as someone with a retarded brother, I'm bummed that I can't rape him.
but then he's like, nobody laughed, and he's like, "Oh, I get it. You guys are some fucking politically correct bullshit Williamsburg." It's like, no, dude, that's just like the worst thing anybody's ever said. That's just
that's
the,
the best.
worst.
You just need a safe space. You fucking snowflakes. I was a 9/11 first responder. Go fuck all your mothers. I did 3 tours in Iraq.
So genius.
Oh, okay. The fuck. It was like totally sincere. If it was ironic, it'd be like the funniest guy ever.
He thought that was like a great punchline.
He thought that was a joke.
Yeah. So I could rape her. And there's like some girl who writes for Vox in the audience at the open mic, like, yeah. Oh yeah, what, you all love Hillary Clinton? You can't handle it. You fucking pussy. You're a pussy.
Oh, you're all with her, huh? Who's with me?
that guy runs for president and beats Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
That guy beats Hillary in 2020.
That guy was probably like Trump's campaign manager.
Yeah. No, I was joking when I said I wanted to rape my retarded sister.
But in all seriousness, folks, the Democratic Party is in shambles. Anyway, so that's the whole thing with Bonanno is he is completely full of shit, but he does kind of preach these principles that he seemed to instill in his son. Here's NYPD Detective Joseph Coffey talking about Bonanno. Now, Coffey is one of these guys. He appears in every mob documentary. We see him all the time. Yeah. And he sort of does present himself as this very sort of
tough guy.
Tough guy, detective, articulate, you know. But, I mean, you can just tell the guy's a complete fucking attention whore. Dan, come over here and watch this clip. Let me put in the password. Anti-Semite 924.
Right. Nobody would guess 924.
Someone almost guesses my computer password.
They guess anti-Semite.
When the password strength that goes from very weak to 924 strong.
Matt, the show is getting better because you're letting your evil out a little bit. I want you to know that. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of improvement. You're really letting the darkness flow through you. That's another thing about Star Wars. Fuck Yoda. Yeah. I rewatched Star Wars recently. I'm like, you're a fucking piece of shit. Yeah. You think you know everything. You're hiding on a planet. Yeah, you have no worries, no problems. Yeah. Why don't you go? Yeah,
talk how everybody talks.
Don't be angry. It's like I'm stuck in traffic in a acidic neighborhood. Anyway. All right, so here's Joseph Coffey discussing Joe Bonanno.
They like to be portrayed that way, like the kindly family head who takes care of everybody.
So they're talking about Godfather.
When in fact they're murderers.
Joe Coffey is commanding officer
of the
the New York
murderers.
Police Department's Organized Crime Homicide Unit.
The Godfather in the film was a prototype of Joe Bonanno?
Absolutely, without any question. A criminal.
And also Coffey. I mean, we'll have him on the show maybe, but he is just a bit of a know-it-all, you know. And he's managed to get on TV every time.
He agrees he's been involved in bootlegging. Narcotics and prostitution, he says? No, never.
Can I say to you that Mr. Bonanno had a bag of heroin in his hand?
He's just doing coke in the interview, Bonanno, like off a key.
Cocaine? Or actually smuggled narcotics into this country? No, I can't say that. But we know that his family, his crime family, the Bonanno crime family, which still holds that name today, is directly involved in the smuggling, importation, and distribution of narcotics in this country. Documented.
So that is true. And the Bonanno family was actually kicked off the commission in like the late 80s, I think, 1989. Yeah, so it was like really embarrassing for them because of the drug trafficking and because of well, we'll get to that.
Do the book?
So interested.
Yeah, so after Bonanno retires, he writes a book called Man of Honor. And it's basically like a tell-all book about the inner workings of the mob.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
like the guy with the tattoos. It's like leadership.
Friendship, honor.
Kindness.
Yes.
Loyalty.
Calling your mother.
Well, what happens is Giuliani reads that book and that starts his like attempt at fame because he's a whore too.
Yeah. That guy's the worst.
Yeah.
You ever see or you ever hear that audio of him yelling at the ferret guy? Giuliani?
No.
I've heard about it, but I haven't
is
heard
it?
it.
So when he was mayor, he had like a weekly radio show called like Wake Up with Rudy or something. Like he would like take calls from people around the city. And this guy,
I think De Blasio does that too, but it's like a podcast or a radio show, and a lot of it is people calling in being like, "Yes, Mayor De Blasio, can you please stop having a black wife?" That's what Adam Friedland was telling me.
it's like mostly just insane. So this guy calls because I guess someone like the city council or whatever passed some bill saying you could have ferrets as pets in the city. And Giuliani, for no political reason, just vetoed it.
Yeah.
And he's like, they look gross.
Yeah.
So you just can't have them. And so this guy calls into the radio show.
Yeah,
and
he's just
like,
an egomaniac.
He's just like, Mr. Giuliani, I'm from the National Ferrets Rights, da-da-da. And Giuliani's like, oh, God, you again. And then he's like, sir, you have a disease. There's something wrong with you. And just for like 5 minutes, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
He's just like bullying this guy for how sick he must be.
Right.
And it's like part of he's kind of like, he's kind of right, but it's also just so crazy. He's like the mayor and he's just yelling at this guy who likes ferrets.
Yeah.
Like on a big fucking radio show.
That's a guy who it's like, you got out of the game way too late. It's like he might have cleaned up. I don't know. He might have done some good things because crime was so rampant when he was in. It was also I heard the city was more livable. Like you could afford to live here. Right. Before
the
before
pros and
in.
cons.
So I don't know.
Really.
Yeah, it's like your mother might get knifed to death, but you don't have 9 roommates at 34.
Yeah, no, he really like since 9/11, whenever he was at his peak, he's like only looked like a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And I heard there was even a fundraiser that he did where it's like the donation to attend was $911.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. He's way. It's almost cartoonish.
Yeah.
How often he mentions.
No, he's on
9/11.
TV. He's on TV like yelling at Michael Eric Dyson. He's like, "I wouldn't have to put white officers on the street if you blacks weren't shooting each other."
Yeah. No, he's
my
like
fucking mother's like, he tells it like it is.
Yeah, he's like crazy. Yeah, I read something about it because it's like I guess the first time he ran, he lost to Dinkins. It was like the last.
Oh, he lost to Dinkins.
Black. He lost him the first time. And then he spent the next 4 years.
You know who
talking about how it was like racial chaos in the city now, and then he beat him.
Yeah.
But it's just like his whole career is just based on like being mad a black guy beat him once,
right?
And just spending the next 30+ years just fucking vengeance.
Yeah, anybody not white
against blacks and ferrets.
That's another thing people say in my family. Like, I hate to say it, but anytime there's a black mayor, it's not good.
The Count de Blasio.
Probably. Yeah.
I hate to say it. You love to say it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
like you couldn't wait to say it. This is fucking Christmas dinner. Like, what are you doing?
Never been happier to say something.
We say that. We do that after grace.
Every meal.
Yeah. Yeah. So his underboss Carmine Galante is involved in drugs. I guess we got to wrap this up soon, huh?
Yeah, you got to hit some major fucking points here coming up.
No, I mean, basically what happens is towards the end, Bonanno gets kicked off the commission.
He like retires, right?
Yeah. Well, he fucked up. Yeah, but he was the only boss to ever like retire. So yeah,
they usually just die on the job.
Or they go to prison or whatever.
Right.
Somebody
get
rats
shot
on
up. One of them turned, government witness.
Yeah. But his whole thing was that he was like a man of principle. He thought that he claims to not be greedy. He says there's more to life than money. There was a war within his family where because he went into hiding for a little bit, but then after they tried to kill his son, he comes back.
Yeah, he was gone for 18 months.
He was gone for 18 months, then he comes back. But then he retires, and he writes Man of Honor. So
the banana split, the papers call it.
Yeah,
he's wearing the banana hat on the cover.
So then he goes to Arizona. We always do this. We put so much into their early life, and then we kind of
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you just want to know how he was born.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, the point is that.
You didn't know where you're going there.
You can say Italians don't finish sentences.
Yeah. The point is that Neil deGrasse Tyson is an annoying rapist.
Yeah, Neil DeGrabass Tyson. It's so fucking funny. What was the bit again? It's like there's more grains of sand.
There's more.
Did you
There's
know?
fewer
There it
grains
is.
of sand than rape accusations against me. You know, kinetic energy is what happens when I pull my penis out to show it to a TA.
Yeah,
Also,
that's right.
R2D2 could never exist.
Oh yeah, thank you. Oh really? Thanks for ruining. Yeah.
Did you know that Harry Potter wouldn't exist today? An owl cannot fly over that distance. Dumbledore's not gay.
He's got a big bone to pick with that.
Stick to the moon. Stick to the moon, you dirty fucking.
Just show me where the moon is.
Stay out of Harry Potter, you fucking asshole.
Just point at the moon.
Yeah.
Right.
Stay in our solar system. Fucking.
Well, Dan, this is going to come out on the 18th.
Oh, great.
No, sorry. I'm looking at December 2013 for some reason.
Yeah, send it up then.
2 weeks this will come out. So
The
do you wanna
20th.
plug anything? Matt, did we get to everything? I guess we did, right?
Yeah, you have the split. You have how we lost control.
He was kicked off the commission. It was very embarrassing for that whole organization.
Yeah,
So-
because of
but
the
after-
book and
right.
the other stuff.
Was it because of the book?
Well, I mean, like people inside the
And the drug trafficking.
right.
But then that gave rise to Anthony Spiro and the Bath Avenue crew, which we'll get into them, later. Some young guys from Bensonhurst who did some dirty work.
Yeah, the people inside the Bonanno family were embarrassed because of the book coming out, and they tried to rename it to the Masano.
Oh wait, so here's another clip. So he passed away in what 2002
Yeah, 97 years old.
at the age of
R.I.P.
97.
It's good you got to see 9/11.
It broke his heart.
Just, you don't want somebody to miss out. FOMO,
Fear of missing out.
Yeah, my grandfather died in 2001, early 2001, January 2001.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, I just when 9/11 happened, I was like, I wish he could have been here to see this. Anyway, I was actually like, I wish my grandfather could have been in those towers so I could be on SNL right now.
Once again, the email is
Oh,
the booker of SNL.
I don't have that. Nobody. There's
Lauren
not a Booker of
Michaels'
SNL.
email.
no. It was
Oh,
Sam Conan.
it's L Michaels at NBC.UNI.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hit him up. Hit him up if you want to be on the show. I heard that.
Yeah.
I love when Michael Che posts like photos on Instagram of people asking him how to become a writer for SNL or like the Weekend Update. They're like,
Yeah.
I started stand up a year ago.
Yeah.
Here I am. It's great.
Yeah. Well, he's a cocksucker because why don't you just
Just hire everybody.
Yeah, hire everybody.
Yeah.
And that's how we're gonna fix the economy.
And bring back jobs.
Yeah.
Jobs for everyone who asks for them. Whatever they want.
Look, here's how we fix the economy. Every steel worker who's out of work in West Virginia
Can go.
gets to write for SNL.
SNL.
Gets to write, yeah. Funny sketches. They have the budget. You got the budget, Lauren. All right? Anyway, so
Great. Just unemployed coal miners just have to write whatever fucking Trump shit.
yeah. Dan, you want to plug anything?
You can watch I have this show with Kevin Iso. You can watch online. It's called Flatbush Misdemeanors.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
So funny.
Yeah, so just look that up and you can watch them. Yeah.
We're gonna leave you with this. Here's Joe Bonanno talking about
The penalty.
being cuckolded.
The penalty for.
Yeah, the guy, the cuckolder, let's say this.
The cuckolded man does the killing.
If he wants to kill it.
People have a funny idea. They think
Yeah,
that
all
this
right.
is-
Well, that wasn't a great clip, but
Yeah, I mean, I wrote down the time as he says cuckold. You need the context of what he says 15 seconds beforehand. The penalty for fucking another made man's
so
wife.
that's bad.
Yes.
That's bad work on your part.
Yeah, I guess you could say so.
All right. Well, folks, thanks for bearing with us through this fucking episode that we just kind of threw together.
Yeah, it was fun.
No, thanks for coming on,
I'm going
Dan.
out of town next
Anytime.
week. If this comes out, when is this out? What's today? The
You
11th.
said 2 weeks.
March 20th.
Today's the 11th, so
9
March
days.
20th.
Yeah.
So I'll be in
It's weird how you can't just look at a calendar and figure out what's
because my computer is full. The startup disk is full. Anyway,
your mailbox is full, your computer is full.
I'm editing this. April 20th and 21st, I'll be at City Steam in Hartford, Connecticut. That's a fun room. Come out and check that out. 1 show Friday, 2 shows Saturday. I'm headlining. And
420, brah.
Oh hell yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah! It's 420. That's the day we smoke weed. Because Hitler's birthday. All right, they can't all be winners. I think I'm out of fucking steam here. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. See you next time. Bye.
Mwah.
Hey guys, it's Mike and Matt.
Hey, everybody.
We just want to say once again, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
And if you're liking the show, the best thing you can do for us is to tell a friend.
Tell a friend. You can rate it on iTunes, write a review. You know, everybody that's been...
Matt, shut the fuck up. You can rate it on iTunes. You can write a review. Please like, rate, and subscribe. We need that. It helps us out a lot.
Right.
And also, you know, we have all that other stuff. We have a Patreon.
Yeah, premium episodes
you can
on
find
Patreon.
It. 30-minute premium episodes. We had Shelby on, Matt's girlfriend.
Yep.
That episode's coming up. We talked about the vagina.
Yeah, how to get a girl, how to play the game.
How to play the game.
That's right.
Yeah, you get expert level relationship
We also
advice
talked-
from a guy like me.
We also did the Real Talk episode.
Oh, that was a lot of fun too. Yeah, if you want to hear us sing along to an R. Kelly song, give us your fucking money. And also, as always, if you want to do a one-time donation, my Venmo is Michael-Recine-2, and Matt sees a percentage of that money that I deem worthy for him. So, thanks again. And also, you can always follow us on social media, Sit Down Pod on Twitter, and shoot us an email, sitdownpod@gmail.com. We read every email. And, thanks again, guys. If you keep downloading this shit and listening to it at work on speaker, put it on in the office.
Yeah, tell your boss.
Put it on full blast. We'll keep making them. Thanks. Bye-bye.